It's such a big issue that, according to the Legislative Analyst's Office, the state invested $24 billion over the last 5 years to curb the problem. But this just released report from the California auditor found the state lacks the proper information to determine the ongoing costs and results of its homelessness programs because the California Interagency Council, or ICH, in charge of overseeing the implementation of Housing First policies, has, quote, not consistently tracked and evaluated the state's efforts to prevent and end homelessness.
And that's disappointing.
I would say it was very troubling.
That was the reaction from Republican Assemblymember Josh Hoover and Democratic Senator Dave Cortese. They were the bipartisan lawmakers who originally requested the audit to take place. The audit found the ICH Council did track homelessness spending between 2018 and 2021, but not since then. Above that, it showed despite the billions of dollars spent to combat the issue, the number of people experiencing homelessness increased by more than 50% between 2013 and 2023.
Wow. Yeah, you heard that correctly. The state of California spent $24 billion in order to address the homeless crisis in their state, and no one knows where the money went, but homelessness increased by 50%. Money well spent by your tax dollars. Welcome back. Beautiful and amazing human beings. My name's Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org, and there's a lot of absolutely wild and crazy news out there, especially when it comes to your online privacy, especially when it comes to the federal government wanting to spy on you. This, as of course they create an ever so repressive digital technocratic gulag to push their propaganda, as the former president of the United States could soon be found in contempt of court and might end up in jail. Will he? Well, who knows? Not really. Maybe. We'll see. As there's a lot of protests, there's a lot of news also surrounding the open immigration problem. It looks like Elon Musk just capitulated to Brazil. What's going on here? It's weird, it's wild, and we will be getting into all of it here on this independent media broadcast. If you like the shirt that I'm wearing today, that's very fitting for the theme of this video. You could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And the clip that we played in the beginning of this broadcast is from KTLA 5 in Los Angeles, detailing just the crazy situation unfolding there. That is an absolute racket and truly is leading to the inner destruction of an entire civilization and society. The biggest cities in the United States are being crippled, as it's pretty clear here there is fifth generational warfare happening right now, and the people in charge do not give a damn about you. And guess what? They never really did. This, as of course, there's now actually some conversation about the U.S. federal government and its spy agencies being able to track, trace, and database every single thing you do, as the U.S. House of Representatives is now sending the Foreign Surveillance Reform Bill to the Senate, as some lawmakers and politicians are literally arguing that the government and the state doesn't even need a warrant because it's too tedious for them to get when it comes to literally prying into your private life. And the argument here is pretty clear. People are saying, hey, if you suspect someone of doing something wrong, you could get a warrant and you could see everything that they're doing. You don't need to see Kyle's and Karen boner pics, okay? Here, you don't need to see the bobs of every single woman here in the United States in order to do your job here. As, of course, there was even major government whistleblowers like William Binney that came forward and described a situation where the government was hyper-focused on getting as much data as they could, rather than actually focusing on data that could have stopped and prevented a lot of horrible things from happening here inside of the United States. This, as the Senate will now be debating this bill, as some people will be arguing the right of the state to have a dragnet surveillance society that, of course, will be utilized by the intelligence agencies for their own sinister political agendas. Will the Senate be adding a warrant requirement for this spying bill that has been used and abused by the intel agencies? Well, I hope so, but probably not. This, as there's even other divisions going around this bill about secret data centers that we don't even know the details about, as our tax-paying dollars are financing a larger internet digital gulag system where nothing is sacred, nothing is private, as of course other places around the world have been routinely abusing their positions of power, especially when it comes to the online discourse that many times is tightly regulated, controlled, and used as a tool of the state. As now in Europe, they are working on a new European Union digital identification wallet that, of course, will be linked to your national identification system, as your taxes will now be conveniently just taken away with you with just one click of a button that you didn't even click. Oh, you committed some kind of thought crime in Europe? Your funds are not available to you. You're trying to buy some fruits and vegetables and produce at the supermarket? How dare you? The state doesn't deem you suitable for that. As in Europe, they're literally streamlining a way to connect all of your online activities with your wallet in a Chinese-esque social credit score-like system that, of course, also will be routinely used and abused by the political powers who hold them, as privacy has taken a backseat to many of these politicians that are going to big tech social media companies and saying, hey, you see my political opponent there right now? Yeah. We're going to censor them and anything that helps them in the political discourse because we're in power now and you better do what we say. And that's exactly what happens. As we're getting news right now from the EuropeanConservative.com that Facebook now, just 51 days until the election in a critical European Parliament race, is being interfered with Facebook banning the page of the political opposition party that surprisingly also, of course, doesn't align with the larger political whims of the current establishment in charge. As, of course, the party that is being censored is a sovereignty right-wing party, as larger social media tech companies have always bowed down to the whim of the establishment that, of course, routinely politically abuses their power. As there's also some very surprising news in this sphere, as, of course, just a couple days ago, we were reporting to you how Elon Musk of Twitter was actually pushing back against the Brazilian government that was going after political opponents that represented opposing political viewpoints to the establishment in their country, as today Reuters is reporting that Twitter just reversed course and is telling a Brazilian court that it will comply with its rulings, as lawyers representing Elon Musk told a Brazilian Supreme Court that they will do what the court wants them to do. Disappointing news to a lot of people paying attention, as of course the United States is particularly looking into this matter right now, as even Elon Musk himself took to social media a couple days ago on April 7th and said, quote, using a VPN is pretty easy. Was he hinting at potentially the Brazilian government censoring Twitter in Brazil? Well, it definitely looks like that won't be the situation. What's really going on here? What are going to be the developments here surrounding this very important case? Well, we're going to be keeping a close eye on it, as of course it's a very big story. It's a very important story, as I remember talking about this story a few days ago and reminding people that, yes, getting a VPN would be advantageous to them, especially with how censorious the internet has become. And I said, hey, I should pretty much work with a VPN company. And then I thought about piavpn.com/wearechange, private internet access, a company that we actually worked with previously before. As I personally like VPNs, I use VPNs, and I can't recommend them enough. And with the governments becoming more dangerous and censorious, adding privacy to your online experience is a must. Hiding your IP address, encrypting your internet connection, shielding your life from spammers and bureaucrats, and being able to access websites that your local governments don't want you to access could be something that is going to be needed more than ever. This says PIA actually has a strict no-log policy. It's open source. It allows you to access streaming services, regional restricted content all over the world, 84 countries, all 50 US states, and it could even help you save some money by changing your location when you're booking travel deals, as you can now get 83% off and pay just $2 a month, plus an extra 4 months completely free by going to piavpn.com/wearechange. Check them out, as they're a company that, of course, worked with us previously before, and we're very happy to, of course, work with them right now. Check out the link down in the description below and support the companies that are supporting us. This, as domestically, the situation here is definitely also getting a little bit more tumultuous socially, as, of course, there are a lot of different protests happening all throughout the United States surrounding the larger Middle Eastern conflict unfolding in the region right now. As also in New York City, there's not just protests, but also a lot of illegal immigrants that recently showed up to City Hall demanding that they get taken care of and given the ability to work. This, as of course, New York City has offered to welcome in a lot of people into their city that they're finding an extremely difficult time taking care of. This as the situation might get worse if the situation expands inside of the Middle East, as today Iran is threatening to attack Israel and American bases with, quote, weapons that it has not used before. This as its ties between Russia and China keep growing and expanding, showing an ever so dangerous situation that isn't really healthy for the world. As domestically, the situation between the Democrats and Republicans is just as divisive as Donald Trump has taken to the national media to call out the judge in his Stormy Daniels payoff case, as the judge has ordered Donald Trump to sit at the proceedings for every single date of the trial, including, of course, jury deliberation, as Donald Trump was told that he couldn't even attend his son's own graduation, something that a judge has the right to grant. The judge has also specifically set off particular court dates that take away Donald Trump's ability to, of course, campaign, while also ensuring that Orthodox Jewish people won't be able to participate in the jury pool. A population of people in New York City that are the last few remaining vessels of conservative Republican ideals, as overwhelmingly the jury of his peers will be probably Democratic left-wing voters. This as Donald Trump has said that the judge is a, quote, Trump-hating judge, and he calls this trial a disgrace. This as the prosecutor in this case is calling for Donald Trump to be fined $3,000 and to be held in contempt of court for allegedly breaching a gag order by speaking out against what he sees as unfair treatment here. Now, a contempt of court charge is a charge that has seen some people, of course, be sent to jail over. This as Donald Trump has been questioning the reputation of the star witness in this entire case, which, let's just be honest here, doesn't have the best reputation, as there's a lot of videos of her being processed and sent to jail for some serious charges that she faced all the way back in 2018. Donald Trump is also sharing posts about Stormy Daniels making statements that contradict her statements that she is making now, as previously she denied that the two had intimate relations together. She talked about how she was coerced into writing statements, and now prosecutors are wanting to fine Donald Trump and to hold him in contempt of court that could potentially have him face 30 days in jail for making online social media posts about this case that they're telling him that he can't talk about to the general public. And again, trying to incarcerate the president for up to 30 days because he sent mean tweets regarding a case that he's involved in, where, of course, public opinion is pretty important here, as the probability of him getting a fair trial is pretty low, highlights an interesting situation that could go in many different ways and directions. As, of course, Donald Trump is the former president of the United States. He has Secret Service protection. Does that mean the Secret Service would be with him in jail if he is found in contempt of court? As some people are arguing that these gag orders are too restrictive of something that already is being heavily politicized here and an absolute circus. This as a lot of the prosecutions against Donald Trump are absolutely politically motivated, in my opinion, and used as a way in order to influence this upcoming election. But I don't think the Democrats realize that they're making Donald Trump a martyr here. They're making him more popular here. Will he go to jail for 30 days for contempt of court? Probably not, but again, you never know what's going to be happening here. And if he does, you could bet your bottom dollar his street cred, reputation, and support from his own supporters will probably increase from here afterwards, as the Democrats are involved in a very dangerous gambit, making their political cause all about him and not about the actual issues that matter, not about actually what they're doing for the people, the middle class, the individuals that, of course, keep having been being told to give up more and more of their money and rights and liberties in exchange for what? Which a lot of people are asking themselves every single day, as the political system is in disarray, and it's only going to be more chaotic the closer we get to this upcoming presidential election, which some people believe might not even happen. What do you think will happen in this particular case? Will Donald Trump go to jail for 30 days? Let me know down in the description below, as of course it probably won't happen. But with the way that things have been going in 2024, it might actually happen. I got one more video coming your way for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. Another podcast, 6 p.m. Eastern later on today, and a nature hike this Saturday in Miami, Florida, just for members of LukeUnfiltered.com. See you there. Let's touch some grass, live some life, meet some new friends, make some new connections, and understand life is essentially what you make it. Let's make it beautiful. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org.